There was obviously a reason to give bodies to the first team, but at the same time, we want to make sure that the manager was aware of what we have at the club. Obviously, he knows most. But, you know, one thing is having them every day in training, and one thing...
Sorry to interrupt, Carlo. The trophy's just about to come out of the tunnel. All the players are lining up. I think it's a guard of honour as well. It looks like... Oh, look at that. It's a magical feel, isn't it? And rightly so, the captain taking all the plaudits in the centre circle.
Goosebumps!
Massively. Just listen to that. Just listen to that. Zach, it's amazing, isn't it?
Mate, the stadium's half full. And it's quite frankly incredible. I mean, look, we won the Champions League. This is what you expected. Everyone's been at home. They're finally back in Stamford Bridge and watching their players lift it. It's really nice to see. It's really, really nice to see.
And also, Carlo, Jorginho and Emerson have had a very good summer, haven't they? I mean, their arms are going to get tired, aren't they?
My goodness. I mean, being obviously European champion at the club level and then move to the big competition and winning again. I mean, I don't know what was going through their mind. If you think, I mean, it wasn't a massive achievement, obviously. It hadn't happened in the past, so for so many players to win both competition like that. So it's just amazing.
And Pat, now the challenge is to go on and keep winning it, isn't it? And that's the hardest thing in football, is you get to the pinnacle. We've had 2 months as champions of Europe. Now the new season kicks off and everyone's eyeing up this year.
Do you know, when you've actually had a good season, you don't know if it's going to be harder or easier. A lot of people say, see, when you win a trophy, you know how to do it now. You now know how to do it. You're comfortable. I played with many teams where we never quite won a trophy. We got beaten in cup finals, but we never felt that thing of you finally got that first win. And when you get that first win, you now know you can do it. It's not an impossibility. And I keep on going back to this. This team's young, very young. What an opportunity they've got to build, and I can't believe I'm saying it, to build and win in the Champions League. But they can. They actually can. They could win so many things going forward with the players that they've got and the fact that they're young and actually getting better. A lot of the guys out there.
Well, let's have a little look then at the team that Thomas Tuchel has selected for this pre-season friendly in the Mind series against Tottenham Hotspur tonight. In goal, Eduard Mendy. It looks like a back three of Kurt Zouma, Trevor Chalobah and Antonio Rudiger. Callum Hudson-Odoi, N'Golo Kante captains the side alongside Mateo Kovacic, Marcus Alonso, Hakim Ziyech, Kai Havertz and Timo Werner. Who are you most looking forward to seeing tonight, Carlo, out of the players that perhaps haven't played a huge amount pre-season?
Well, obviously for me, Trevor Chalobah. I think he did extremely well so far. It's another opportunity for him. And it's nice to see his name alongside so many big players. So apart from them, obviously it would be just to test and to check a little bit the last arrivals and see where they are. As I mentioned, it's such an important game. We want to, win that cup again after so many years, I would say. So yeah, the Kai and N'Golo, all these kind of players that were a bit late. It would be important to see where they are.
Absolutely right. Wearing number 26 as well, so no pressure.
No pressure.
Zach.
Obviously, they joined last summer after everything had happened, and yeah, they're fantastic. They also all complement each other really, really well. Kai is this guy who's kind of found he's been really blossoming in this kind of false nine position as the striker. For Werner against for Arsenal. I mean, Werner as well, his pace, it's blistering. As I said, they all complement each other really, really well, and yeah, if they played in the Super Cup, I would not be surprised.
And Pat, it's the first time we've seen Mateo Kovacic in pre-season. We know how good he can be, and it's important to get minutes in, because obviously he had an injury towards the end of last season, so it'd be important for him to make sure that he's fit and firing and good to go.
Nah, no words there at all. I'm taking you're talking about the attack still, yeah?
Kovacic.
Cover. One of the amazing things, I mean, as you know, I am contractually obliged to talk about Billy Gilmour at some point. If you can let Billy Gilmour go out, you must have some group in that midfield. And the group in the midfield, if you look at what we've got, Kova has been phenomenal. I mean, he was player of the year two years ago, was it? And he's behind Kante and Jorginho, which is extraordinary. Jorginho was maybe the most important player in the Euros. And you look at Kante, he's one of the best players in the world, if not the best at his position. So you've got three players in there. Not even mention Mason Mount, who can come in there as well. So we've got such strength and depth in that position. But Kova gives you something really special. See that drive forward. I mean, we chatted a bit about Ruben, what he does when he does that turn and drives forward. Kova's got a phenomenal ability of, he's not got lightning pace, he's got a power run that goes by people then. It's just a little shimmy, and he's taken two players out of the game. In the modern game, if you can take one or two players out of the game, you are gold dust, absolutely gold dust, because it opens everything out. So Kova, massive things he can do for us this season. And another player that I think is still getting better in his time at Chelsea. So excited about him, excited about our midfield, and had you asked about our front line, I've been excited about them too.
There's plenty of players looking to take an opportunity tonight, and the man that is tasked with selecting who's going to play is, of course, the manager, Thomas Tuchel. Earlier on, he spoke to Lee Parker.
Thomas, first of all, good to see you. You've named another strong team here at the Bridge. How much do things step up at this stage of pre-season?
Yes and no. It steps up for some of the guys like Christian Pulisic or Hakim Ziyech, Callum Hudson-Odoi, who were here from the first day, so they are very close to match fitness. For some other guys, it's the second time they're on the pitch after one half against Arsenal, so we try to give them some 60 minutes. There are a lot of top players in there who it comes too early for. It's like our captain, Aspi, Thiago, and this group, Andreas Christensen, who are not ready to play on this kind of level without risking too much, because they have not completed a whole week. So it's still very unique and still kind of a patchwork to bring everything together. But like you say, the team that we have on the pitch is quite a strong team, and well, I expect nothing else than a reliable performance, because we have a reliable group, good guys. Everybody is there since many weeks, and we try to be the best we can at the moment.
You mentioned the challenge of getting players back at different stages following the respective summer breaks. How do you get them up to speed in time for the start of the season, or as close to as possible?
Well, I have to say that our fitness coaches in our organization do a fantastic job, and they take care about every little detail. So there are a lot of individual groups now, depending on when they arrived for training. For example, we had a training group today in the morning with our guys and some guys from the loan group to provide a good quality training. So when we had the meeting now in the hotel 3 hours before the match, there was another group training at Cobham, the same group again. We provided them a double training session today. So, but it's the praise for the fitness coaches and the medical department that so far, knock on wood, and so far we have no injuries and a good atmosphere, and everybody is working very, very hard in a pretty impressive manner, and it's nice to be part of it.
Speaking of a good atmosphere, we can see the fans are already arriving here at the Bridge. The stands are filling up. It's going to be quite special playing in front of some home fans once again, isn't it?
Yeah, me personally, I had only one match in front of spectators. It was a big one against Leicester, but I think it was only 8,000, but it felt already like a full stadium after such a long time. So we cannot wait until the Bridge is sold out and it's full again to support the team. And well, it's on us to play exciting and to transmit the energy from the pitch to the stands.
Thanks, Thomas.
Thanks.
Good luck today.
It's always so good to hear the manager speak, isn't it, that close before kick-off. And Carlo, just on Thomas Tuchel, we know how he's going to play, we know the system he's going to play. How important is it for the players, I suppose, and to translate that message in a full pre-season, which, not a full pre-season,
well,
but...
obviously we all know how, or the system that Thomas likes. You know, I think it's just giving more time to work on things during pre-season, because let's not forget that when he joined the club, he didn't have a lot of time to put things together. So I guess that he had a bit more time during this pre-season, and every game is important, so that all the different mechanisms, you know, they're just getting better and better. And again, you know, for me, it's I'm just looking forward to see how Trevor will handle the pressure, because, as I said, he's done very well in the previous games, but playing at Stamford Bridge is different. So I'm looking forward to see how he handled the personality. I really like the way he performed in the previous games, you know, the way he read the game, the way he was showing, giving the right angle to the goalkeepers. A mature player. He had a great season at Lorient last year. Now is the next step, and I'm pleased that Thomas is seeing something in him.
Absolutely right. Carlo, thank you so much for joining us. Pat, pleasure as always. Zach, I see you boys at half-time, so it's time to hand over to our commentary team. The fans are back, the players are taken to the pitch. Welcome back to Stamford Bridge. Over to Matt Davies-Adams and Clive Walker.
Thanks, Joe. Evening, everybody. Here we go then. Only a couple of weeks away now from the start of the Premier League season, but this almost feels like a Premier League kind of night. It's so great to have people back inside Stamford Bridge the way it should be. And wasn't the atmosphere set beautifully by the presentation of the Champions League trophy to those who were in here tonight before kick-off. It's Chelsea versus Tottenham Hotspur then, second game in the Mind series for the Blues after the win at Arsenal on Sunday. Everything gearing up toward not only the start of the Premier League season, but of course the European Super Cup final on Wednesday of next week. Clive Walker's alongside me. Clive, it takes a bit of getting used to having people back around us up at the top of the East Stand here. It sure is noisy.
It's fabulous, Matt, isn't it? And you know, through it all, we've been waiting for this opportunity to get the fans back in. And you know what, we haven't even kicked off yet, but what a difference they've made. You and I have just been sat here for the last hour smiling, because the way they've reacted to the players coming out onto the pitch for the warm-up, and not only that, the presentation, of course, of the European Cup, and all the bits and bobs that go with being at the game. The fans have absolutely loved it. You can hear them now. They haven't stopped. Let's hope this continues throughout the Premier League season. I know we have some quiet times, but you know what? I think the fans are so pleased to be back. This is what it's all about, and it means so much to the players.
And it brings a different intensity to a pre-season friendly. We saw that at Arsenal on Sunday as N'Golo Kante and Eric Dyer lead the respective teams out. Well, it's been a long time since there's been this big a disparity between Chelsea and Tottenham Hotspur. Chelsea, the champions of Europe, Tottenham hoping to find their way into the Europa Conference League. Chelsea perfectly harmonious, one of the best coaches in the world, squad stacked full of talent with plenty more to come back in. But tonight, it's about celebration, it's about building fitness, it's about getting ready for what is to come in the 9 months ahead. The Chelsea team, a pretty familiar one to that, which started at Arsenal on Sunday, if you were with us for that game. Same back three, same front three too. Marcus Alonso comes in for Christian Pulisic at left wing back. N'Golo Kante gets a start and wears the captain's armband too, in place of Callum Hudson-Odoi. Further opportunity to impress for Trevor Chalobah, has looked really good so far, but as Carlo Cudicini was saying before kick-off, this is a different level playing at Stamford Bridge. Spurs give a debut of sorts to Pierluigi Gallini in goal. He's on loan with an option to buy from Atalanta. He was previously at Man United and at Aston Villa too. Oliver Skipp's somebody they've got big hopes for this season, having starred for Norwich in the Championship last season. Dele Alli's had a good pre-season thus far, as has Lucas Moura, who scored a couple of goals, but there is, of course, one very notable absentee from that Tottenham team sheet. Still no Harry Kane back in training. their bench, therefore. A lot of young players on it. Chelsea's a bit more depth. I'm sure we'll see plenty of those players as the evening goes on. Once again, those who are late back from the Euros, not involved tonight, the likes of Mount, James Chilwell, Jorginho, Emerson, Thiago Silva, who went deep in the Copa America too. Chelsea getting closer and closer towards having a full complement available. One would assume that will be the case in Northern Ireland next week. But for tonight, the focus is on the London derby. The biggest cheer of the night goes up when Kai Havertz's name is mentioned. Scored a great goal at the Emirates on Saturday, scored an even better one in Portugal at the back end of May. So it's going to be Tottenham who will get the game underway, kicking towards the Matthew Harding stand in the first half. It has been confirmed this week that the players will continue to take a knee before Premier League games this season, and indeed that is what they do here to warm applause around Stamford Bridge, which is fantastic to hear. What are you looking for then, Clive, in this game? It's difficult to show much progress from Sunday, I suppose, so quick is the turnaround, but are you looking for signs of tactical ideas coming together, or is it purely a fitness exercise?
Well, I think mainly so excited I was choking. Fitness, of course, we always talk about that, but I think also technique and ability and awareness of the players that are around you, and just linking things together, really. I mean, I think we just need to get back up to speed as quickly as possible, get players in form as soon as you can, and start winning matches to give confidence. So nothing better than beating Tottenham for me.
Here's Marcos Alonso. Gave it up to Moura, but he quickly turned it over to Kovacic. Moura not giving it up, but Kovacic emerged with the ball. Looked to feed it through for Werner. Nice idea, just a little too much on it, and an early feel of the ball for the new Tottenham goalkeeper, Galini.
Yeah, just try to play it through for Werner to run onto with his pace, which we know he's got in abundance.
Here's Son. More pressure on him this season, I guess, if Harry Kane's not going to be around. Wasn't a particularly sure first touch. Hudson-Odoi playing right wing back, started on the left at Arsenal on Sunday.
Yeah, all we need is Chelsea to take control of the football, which they're trying to at the moment. Good pressure from Tottenham, good running by Werner.
And the flick on might come the way of Ziyech. Referee said there was no nudge in the back of Timo Werner there.
That's an interesting one. The referee was quite away from the play on Werner, but again, using his pace to get between the two central defenders. So good at that. It's just finding him and getting the ball forward quicker for me. I think if seeing that Werner makes that sort of run, which he did all last season. And there's a challenge from behind, goes down, gets a free kick. He made those runs all season, and I think it's just an understanding that was missing. And we saw him run offside so many times. Just half the time you're saying, can you stay on side? Well, sometimes can you see him earlier? You know, there's ifs and buts. I just wonder if the players have been working on that in training. I'm sure they have, because I think if we can find him earlier, he's the type who'll get away and score goals.
The referee, by the way, is Keith Stroud. He's normally a Football League referee. Spurs have been playing Football League teams in their pre-season preparation so far. They've still got to play Arsenal in this series, but taken on likes of Colchester and MK Dons and Leyton Orient so far.
Yeah, it's purely a fitness thing, isn't it? I think we'd understand that. But from this position now, season very, very close. You know, it's going to be important they step up. But can we take them on now and force them into making lots of mistakes?
Here's Lucas Moura. Drifted away from Kovacic. Offloaded it left-hand side for Bergwijn. Now Son, can he find room for a shot? He did, it was deflected, and that made it a good save from Mendy to push it behind for the first corner of the night.
Yeah, first question for Mendy, does it well, doesn't he? I think it's going slightly to his left. His body weight was on one way, going one way, but he's reacted well, palmed it around the post. It didn't have a great deal of power because the deflection just takes the power away, but decent enough save for Mendy.
Dele Alli's posed Chelsea a threat from these kind of positions before. Good record against Chelsea has Dele. One arm in the air from Son. meant it went near post toward Højbjerg, but it was Havertz who got the first touch. Free kick given against Hudson-Odoi.
I think he's unlucky there, Callum. I think he makes contact with the ball. You know what, he's not the best defender, we know that. His timing of his challenges is not going to be fabulous. I think most has been made of it by Bergwijn, but having said that, he's made contact with the player, and you understand the free kick's given. This is a better angle this time for Son. I don't think his corner was particularly good, but this is a great position for Tottenham.
Not a bad delivery, but it was Marcos Alonso who met it first. Bergwijn trying to keep it alive. Hudson-Odoi pinched it, and now Ziyech can set Werner running. Hudson-Odoi and Ziyech up there with him. Managed to get the cutback, but only to Reguilon. Had done enough to put him off.
Yeah, I just wonder if Werner maybe should have gone for goal there. I think initially he's in a good position, but his second touch took him a little bit wide. And I think in that situation, probably tried to do the right thing, just didn't get good contact on the ball.
Here's Matt Doherty. He'll be hoping that his Spurs career gets revived by Nuno Espirito Santo. Barely got a look in under Jose Mourinho last season, but of course Doherty played for Nuno at Wolves. Yeah,
a strange one, wasn't it, for Doherty? Because you felt at times he's probably a good shoe-in for them, I think, in the way that they played, but didn't seem to get the games regularly enough to sort of enforce a position. But yeah, you're right, having played for Wolves, Nuno know him really well. Maybe the right sort of manager to get the best out of him.
Here he is again, looking to swap passes with Moura. Doherty coming infield now.
Interesting as well, we're seeing Timo Werner play as that more central role, and Kai Havertz to the left-hand side.
Here's Bergwijn looking for Son. It was from Zuma. No foul there by either man. Doherty's picked up the loose ball. Alonso's trying to force him wide. Who did that come off last? It's a goal kick.
Well, 6 and 2 threes there could have gone either way, because I think there was an extra touch off Alonso, but possibly, and the assistant referee will know, possibly his body weight or his left foot was over the byline when he last touched it. Difficult to see from the camera angle, but we'll take the decision anyway.
Mendy looking to switch it out. It's an ambitious ball. He's managed to get Chelsea up to halfway with the throw-in.
I think it's a good choice by Mendy. I mean, I think the ball back to him by Zuma was a bit cagey. Not the probably best ball the goalkeeper would have wanted, but he dealt with it well.
There was a foul that time.
It's an interesting one for the referee. Assistant doesn't give it, and he's in the best position to give this decision. The referee's at the wrong angle, but sees it. It's a strange one. I think the referee's probably... Sorry, the assistant referee's looking across the line, maybe at the time of the contact, was looking for an offside.
Contact. Mendy made his Chelsea debut against Spurs in the Carabao Cup at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium last season. Alonso. His own history with Spurs, of course. That brilliant free kick at Wembley in a Premier League game stands out. Son, after... well, I was about to say Kante was dispossessed, but you knew it was only a temporary thing.
Yeah, they're actually trying to get at Kante very, very quickly and close him down.
Yeah, good luck with that. Here's Ziyech, going to bend one. And he nearly found the top corner rather than the lower tier of the shed.
Good play. Really good play, and it's typical of Chelsea, isn't it? Kante initially lost the ball, wins it back, and on halfway gets it forward to Hudson-Odoi, who stands up as defender and just goes one-on-one. He doesn't get tight enough, and Ziyech just laying back in a deeper position, opens up his body, tries to bend it into that far top corner. Maybe it's a sighter for what's to come.
Morris had her on for Bergwijn, might have struck the top of his arm, but play going on. can see there is work being done on the lower tier of the Matthew Harding stand, installing rail seating. So those who would usually be housed there are just down below us in the East Stand for tonight. And off for Ziyech. One of those who, as Thomas Tuchel told us pre-match, has been at Cobham since day one, Hakeem Ziyech. And this man, Hudson-Odoi, you think that will stand them in good stead for the start of the season?
I think when we see Callum get into those wide positions, one-on-one, okay, first one he passed to Ziyech, and then he takes on Reguilon. You know, he's got to start getting by people. He's got to start creating opportunities, getting crosses in. No better practice than a game like this to actually do that.
There he is again. Tight to the touchline, but now coming in. Alonso wants to switch. Spurs with plenty of bodies back. Chelsea trying to find a way through, not that time.
Yeah, it's one of those where Berners tried to run off the line, and I actually don't think he needed to there. He's already got a wide player in Ziyech. He doesn't need to run into the same position. If he stands still, Callum will find him with the pass. I think that's what Callum was looking for.
Time than Ziyech was prepared to allow him.
Good play by Ziyech as well, sticks to his task, couple of blocks, goes out for a goal kick in the end, but again putting pressure on the Spurs backline, and Tanganga was struggling there, should have played it first time, took a touch and gave Ziyech a chance to get there.
Ziyech, one of those who's not played in front of Chelsea supporters too often.
They look a bit disjointed, Tottenham, for me. You know, we know about their players, and we've obviously seen them many times before, but as a team they look disjointed. I don't think we've got into full flow yet, but I know we've got that capability of playing as a team. We've seen it before, similar sort of players and formations, but for me Tottenham just struggling a little bit at the moment.
Rudiger overcooked that one. You're just trying to take the sting out of Chelsea's attack by hanging on to the ball. Again, Tottenham turning it over pretty cheaply though.
It's unlucky from Zuma. He tried to play the ball straight back into Timo Werner. Whether he didn't expect it or maybe it was a little bit too hard for him.
Doherty. Skip into Son. Is that the foul by Rudiger? Yes, it was.
I think that's good pressure by us as well, and I think we've got to sustain this because Tottenham are looking indifferent. And I think they're struggling to get their passes together. We don't need to give them any sort of momentum. And it'll be good work for us. It's hard work, pressing and pushing up, staying as tight as you can to try and win the ball back. And I think that hard work will help us out with our fitness levels.
Straight to Hudson-Odoi.
It's atrocious, that pass. Absolute. You know, there's a decent enough run by Reguilon. He tried to run over the top, but Dele Alli doesn't even get the ball off the floor. You know, it's such a poor ball, and it was so nonchalant. It was like lackluster. Was there no purpose in the pass? And you know, I'm sure Nuno picked that up quite quickly.
Well, it's interesting because I probably shouldn't be confessing this, but the Spurs TV commentator is a friend of mine, and we were swapping notes, and he said Dele's looked really good so far in pre-season. Still got a bit of work to do. Here's Alonso. Down the line for Havertz, who just about keep it in. Had to stand up his cross first time. Ziyech took it on his chest, and there was Dele to win it back off him. It's going to be a Chelsea throw, though.
Yeah, it's just overpassed by Alonso, wasn't it, to Kai Havertz, who was trying to make a little run from inside to out, and darting behind the back of the Spurs back line, and he was fighting to get the cross in. It wasn't a bad one, it was decent. I guess Ziyech in that position, some would have said a header was probably a better choice, but We're looking at powerful headers of the ball here, quite a distance out, bit of an angle. Probably did the right thing to take the touch, but just gave Dele Alli a chance to get the challenge in.
Alonso's header from Hudson-Odoi's cross, meanwhile, straight into the gloves of Galini. It's been a lively start, 15 minutes gone almost, and it's got a bit more zip to it than your standard pre-season friend.
Just how we want it, and I'm sure the fans are enjoying it too.
Here's Bergwijn. Skip with Mora to his right.
Great footing.
Trevor Chalobah on Bergwijn just as he was about to pull the trigger.
Yeah, it's a great footing, isn't it? That's concentration for Trevor as well. Wasn't back on his heels, stepped forward, stepped into the challenge. Just makes a simple block. That's a good challenge too.
Great from Kante. Ziyech with Werner making some space for him. Ziyech is going to go alone. Oh, how about that from Hakim Ziyech? A lovely finish to put Chelsea ahead with 15 minutes on the clock.
Well, dare I say it, 15 minutes in, Matt, N'Golo Kante, absolutely wonderful challenge. Lucas Moura thought he could take him on in around halfway. He wins the ball brilliantly, and I think when you do that as a midfield player, it opens up the opportunities. Werner makes a great run left to right, just splits the defence. It's up to Ziyech. Does he make the pass? Does he take the shot on? Well, the gap was there. He's on his strong left foot. Take the pot shot, and does he? Does he take it? What a finish.
No chance for Galini, stroked into the corner by Ziyech. Got some key goals last season, Hakim Ziyech. Think about Atletico Madrid here, Manchester City in the FA Cup semi-final and the Premier League. Here he's got one to get the party started.
I'd have to say as well, I think, we often talk about the style and the way that we play up. We said it so many times last season. When we win the ball in and around halfway, suddenly we take off. Didn't always happen, but we know we've got players who can come into the play at that stage. Kante wins the ball, Kovacic, Jorginho, whoever it is in that midfield, Mason Mount, whatever. But if that ball is loose in that centre circle, the front three react. And that's what they've done. They've reacted from a loose ball. Now, it might not come to them, but it's the reaction you're looking for from the players in front of you as a midfield player to make the right decision. And we've made it there and just proven again when we're at our best for me. That is when we are spectacular. And when you see a goal at the end of it, it's just a pleasure to watch.
It's Højbjerg. Bergwijn got Reguilon outside of him, came infield to Son instead.
Amazing, isn't it, when you see a Tottenham side and players like Dele Alli we just spoke about. Spurs are making a good attack there down their left flank. Probably got 3 players on the edge of the penalty area, 2 in wide positions. We win the ball and clear it some 40 yards down the field, and there's Dele Alli. Now, in the past, he was the guy you'd expect to be making runs in and beyond our back line. And he's 40 yards off the play. If you want to make an impression as a player for a new manager, that's not the position I would think that Dele Alli needs to be.
Oh, one back by Kovacic. Havertz on for Werner. Just waiting for support to arrive. Went backwards. Hudson-Odoi's got space right side. If Kovacic could have got his head up, he gave it into Ziyech instead. Werner attacking Doherty. And offloading to Alonso. Nice cut back from him. Havertz off for Werner. Don't think he was quite expecting that, Timo Werner.
We always say you should expect it. Having said that, I think Kai Havertz has got to take the shot on here. Alonso's done brilliantly. Got alongside Werner. Great little pass outside from Werner. Perfectly weighted. Alonso first time into Kai Havertz. I think Havertz has got to take the shot on for me. Good all-round play.
Ziyech, the goal scorer. Yeah, just on that one for Werner.
Yeah, just trying to clip it over the top. Probably the wrong angle. He's too far infield there, Ziyech, I think. Probably a better choice was Callum in a wider position, but again, trying to pick Werner out, as we suggested before. When he makes those runs between centre-backs. I'd have to say as well, if there was any stuffing, it's completely been taken out of Tottenham. They look clueless at the moment for me, Tottenham. Just making up the numbers. I don't think that's, for a club like Tottenham, that's not good enough.
Nuno's been stood motionless with his arms folded down in front of us for the entirety of the opening 20 minutes.
If I was him at this particular stage, I know everybody's got players to come back in.
Here's Werner, going to look for room for a shot. Timo Werner, blocked by Dyer. Danger not pass yet for Spurs. Ziyech again. Oh my goodness me, nearly found the other corner.
He's unlucky, isn't he, Ziyech? I think that's the sort of thing I'd like to see Kai Havertz do a few moments ago. We said about taking the shot on. Werner's had a go. Good block by Dyer. Ziyech gets closed down the first time, doesn't take the shot on, but opens up the gap to create another opportunity for himself. Havertz can do that as well. And I'd like to see him do that in tight areas because he's so good in those sort of tight positions.
Chelsea playing really well in the opening 20 minutes here. Guided them that time by Ziyech, but neither a cross nor a shot in the end.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how the game is going to go on. Obviously, confidence has gone at the moment for Tottenham, and not only are they sitting deep as a back line, the midfield are non-existent. So, of course, eventually the front line is not receiving any decent quality going forward. So, as a team, they're not at the races at the moment. Great opportunity for us to take full advantage.
Skip. Zuma with one of his trademark sliding challenges.
Great challenge, wasn't it? That's what we expect from Kurt. So good at it. Times it really well.
Here's Chalobah. He's in Ligue 1, albeit the wrong end of it for a long time with Lorient last season, but he was one of their standout performers.
Not really been tested yet. A couple of times he stepped in and made challenges, but you'd expect him to do that at this sort of level, so that's a good ball.
And another one through for Werner, no flag. Now he's raised it, just as the ball goes into the net.
Well, this would be a tight call under normal circumstances. We'll have to take the assistant referee's decision on this one, but great play again. Kovacic' pass was splitting. Werner's run, he's onside. Yeah, he's onside.
Not even close.
That's a poor decision. He is miles on and he finishes it well as well. Probably the earliest I've seen a flag go up. Matt, I don't know if we're going to see that this season.
Well, that is apparently one of the new directives. Yeah. They've taken some lessons from the Euros.
I think we needed to. I think it's becoming ridiculous at certain stages.
Here's Hudson-Odoi. Hopefully that's not going to be a hangover from last season, that Werner finds himself just on the wrong end of offside decisions.
Chelsea playing key ball at the moment and just winding the Chelsea fans up to Olay every pass, which is great to hear.
Hudson-Odoi trying to slide in Werner again.
think it encourages players as well to continue with this vein. They love to hear it. Also waiting for that mistake where someone loses their rag from the Tottenham ranks and loses his position, just to exploit it.
Zuma forward for Ziyech. All the time he wanted to turn. Offloaded it to Hudson-Odoi. Werner edge of the box wants it cut back his way. Hudson-Odoi still going. Stopped by Reguilon in the end. And went down and something approaching contact, but no sign of a penalty.
That's what I was saying before about Callum, though. That's where he's got exploited. Reguilon turned his back on him at one stage. And as a winger, that's what you do. You wait for that opportunity, wait for him to lose sight of the ball. You move it in a different direction, and you've completely beaten him, but doesn't do it there, Callum. You give him plenty of time, because obviously it is still pre-season and a little bit of sharpness doesn't go amiss.
To get their first corner of the night. Last touch from Tanganga.
Yeah, we'll take that. Chelsea enjoying possession of the ball at the moment. No real urgency apart from trying to find the likes of Ziyech, who drops into that little hole between the lines.
Ziyech to whip this one. Great delivery as well. Good chance for the second goal of the night. Tony Rudiger mainly deals in headers when it comes to goals. That was a good opportunity by his standards.
It's a good chance, isn't it? I just wonder if Kurt Zuma just ran across his line, maybe took his eyes slightly off the ball. That's when we talk about timing, though. That comes with practice.
Alonso. Sure, there was actually that much contact on Oliver Skip there, or if he just lost his footing, but the free kick's gone Spurs' way.
I think you're right, the first time he just fell over. The referee makes a poor decision on this occasion, in my opinion, but you're going to get those as the season wears on, I'm sure.
I mentioned Keith Stroud, the referee, is normally a Football League referee. If you ask supporters of teams in the Championship, he might give you a pretty robust opinion on his abilities. Here's Dele. Approaching half an hour gone. That lovely goal from Hakim Ziyech on 15 minutes, the difference between the teams.
Chelsea good for it as well. By far the better side in this opening 27 minutes or so, 28 minutes.
Nice song, nice take. With that lovely goal on Sunday. It's not the one he's going to be remembered for the rest of his life. It'll be fascinating to see how he does next season. Players like him and Timo Werner, the difficulty they would have had adjusting to life in a new country under the circumstances that we were all living in.
Yeah, those players that came in last summer will be Really looking forward to having the fans back in, I'm sure.
Been able to see a bit of the city that they've moved to and socialise and do the things that we all took for granted. There's Japhet Tanganga got his opportunity under Jose Mourinho. Didn't feature too much last season though. Quibberg, teammate of Andreas Christensen throughout the summer. Or looking to feed Son's got too much on that.
Just looking at Dele Alli, he just does not look fit. I mean, I presume he's getting fit for the beginning of the season, but he's a long way off it. In fact, I'd be surprised if he lasts much longer than half-time. Just no movement from him whatsoever, almost playing like a left-back with Reguilón bombing on time and time again.
He's only started 7 Premier League games last season. Quite a dramatic drop-off, isn't it? All sorts of reasons why that could be the case, but he was one of England's star men, really, at the 2018 World Cup. Was nowhere near the squad for the Euros. Now here's Ziyech. Alonso, plenty forward in blue in this attack. Bruna peeling away left-hand side. Look to return it to Alonso, might get there somehow. Clicked on out to Alonso.
Could have played that in first time, Alonso. Turn around the corner, get a good run by Timo Werner. He'll make those runs all day long, and I think they're the runs we need to see a bit more. Alonso takes control, doesn't give the ball away, which is a good thing. Seeing those little bit of extras.
Touch from Alonso, and he won the free kick from Skip. He knew that that was the best option.
Fabulous touch, wasn't it? Dropping over his shoulder, not the easiest. Does it really well.
Ziyech. Behind for a goal kick.
Yeah, it was good quick feet, wasn't it, by Callum, but I don't think Ziyech thought the ball was coming. By the time he gets up to full speed, it just runs out of play, but lovely footwork from Callum Hudson-Odoi.
Came out of his area, but was able to roll back and wait for the ball to come into a position he could grab it.
Yeah, too straight. Always a difficult one to get exactly right, but for me it was more in hope than anything.
Ziyech has been hurt in that collision, so the referee will stop the game.
Just in the first touch here, the ball just bounces up in the air slightly, and Reguilón comes in and tries to win it, and both of them collapse in a huddle. I just wonder if Reguilón has just landed on his hip or his thigh. Maybe just a bruise or a bit of contact. I think it would be a welcome point for Nuno Espirito Santo to get some words into his players, because I think these, when you're working with your team, know, a new manager would want to get his word across as quickly as he can, and no better to do it than when you're in the middle of a fixture, in the middle of playing a game. Different for us, of course.
That tackle that started everything off for the goal, but Ziyech still had plenty to do, mind you.
It's amazing the space he was given, wasn't it, when you talk about being organised, playing as a team. N'Golo Kante is the type of player who'll win those challenges all day long, and Kovacic similarly. But to leave Ziyech with that much space, you're going to be asking questions. Where did the midfield go for Tottenham? Non-existent, completely. A bit like Dele Alli's been for the whole of the game, to be honest. Again, you know, we talk about this being a pre-season. It's a fitness game. I think with the season so close coming, in my opinion, a few of these Tottenham players are not as fit as they should be at this stage.
We've got Manchester City on the opening weekend, and that is a headline writer's dream, given everything that's going on with the Tottenham captain at the moment. Here's Ziyech. Clearly okay after that bump from Reguilon. He has actually got everything about his game, it turns out. Here's Hudson-Odoi now. Ziyech wanted it. We know he can shoot from here. So do Spurs. They closed him down quickly.
Just waiting for someone to pull the trigger, aren't we? The period in the game where you think, find that bit of space and get a shot in.
Header from Doherty just as Alonso was winding up the volley.
That's a good header, that's where you expect him to be, that's his position. Sort of position Alonso would get in as a defensive player, and probably would win the ball 9 times out of 10, but just on that one occasion. Decent enough ball in from Callum on this occasion as well. Good play by Chelsea all round.
For Hudson-Odoi that time.
Yeah, it was a good race, wasn't it, that one, for a change? You know, he didn't have the ball at his feet, he plays a 1-2 and tries to get him behind. It looked like he was going to win it, maybe the pass was just a tad too short for him. Small things like that from Tottenham that you just wonder, you know, what they're going to do to change it. You know, just a clip ball forward for Son, no chance against Zuma. Ball's overhit, Zuma's going to win it anyway. Ball runs free, Chelsea pick it up and start another attack. But how do they break out of the position they've been in for the last 20 minutes as a defensive unit, but not really doing anything?
Chalobah on the charge. Ziyech trying to get away from Dyer, who stood his ground and put his foot in.
He does well, Dyer, because he tries a little step over there, Ziyech, and misses the ball. And sometimes you can put a foot out and pull the player down, and unintentionally going for the ball. But if he misses it and you make contact, it could be a very fortunate penalty.
His home form in the Premier League last season, pretty good, 4th in the form table, 9 of 19, beaten 4 times, which was the joint fewest in the division with the champions Manchester City. We're one of the teams that won here, of course. Looking it up earlier, Clive, and I'd totally forgotten about the 5-2 against West Brom here. It felt like a fever dream. Didn't matter much at the end, though. Here's Kante, he's had a brilliant first half. And he might tee up Werner for a goal here. Oh, goalkeeper unconvincing, but did enough.
Done it again, hasn't he, Kante? Wins the ball high up the pitch, and goes against Dele Alli. Probably a little bit easier for him, but he does it so quickly, moves forward. Werner with an opportunity again, looking for that little bit of space to get the shot away. Doesn't get a clear enough strike. Just thinking about this first 40 minutes or so, I think Tony Rudiger has probably made more challenges that are fouls than he has clear ones. He's got very tight every single time on Son. He's not allowed him to turn, to go anywhere. And at times, it's a physical contact that Rudiger's so good at. And Son doesn't like, goes down cheaply maybe, just goes down under just sheer body weight. Not necessarily a foul, but bordering on the edge, shall I say.
Those two renewing hostilities. I remember it was a couple of seasons ago that Son got sent off at Spurs for a challenge on Rudiger. And they're finding Werner. Off for Ziyech. Bodies making their way into the middle. Ziyech, was he going for goal? Was he looking for Havertz? In the end, he found Galini.
Yeah, and again, you know, we can talk about Timo Werner all day long, won't we? And I'm sure we'll keep doing it, but I think that's a chance for him to take the last player on. You know, he's got to go for goal for me from that position as a what would be a greedy centre forward would probably take that chance on.
Ziyech right under the referee's nose from Højbjerg.
Yeah, he's just trying to pinch the ball off Ziyech, hasn't he? And Ziyech has done that ever so well to get his body in the way. And Højbjerg has then sort of challenged him from behind. It wasn't really a challenge, just coming together. And Ziyech was unable to make the pass, so contact was made. Free kick.
Chalobah. Werner again making that early dart. He might get this too.
It's another good run, isn't it? That's the sort of run we're talking about. Maybe that's a longer ball than perhaps we're used to seeing, but you'd have to say it's the sort of ball that Werner can run onto into space, use his pace. Unlucky, doesn't quite get the touch. He's got a bit of a slice of luck there. He might have gone round the goalkeeper without even trying. Completely in no man's land.
2-year contract for Nuno. Wolves all the way from the Championship to the Europa League quarter-final. Happy with something that's happening above him at the moment by the looks of things. We can't quite peer over and see what it is.
I think they've lost the ball.
We've got plenty more.
Yeah, I think he went down the tunnel and right down to the far end, so...
Given away by Tottenham. Bashed in at Havertz, couldn't control.
It's unlucky, it's a good ball, wasn't it? Again, Kante running the show in the field.
Havertz can have a pop. It's well held by the goalkeeper because he got full power behind that.
That's more like it from Havertz. Really good strike, bang on target. Decent enough save, not a lot of space. 22 yards from goal. Whoops. Fabulous Kante, he must be full of it at the moment. just intercepts everything, then gets a little nutmegs as well for his own personal pleasure.
Well, somebody will fancy having a pot from here. It's not really Marcos Alonso's side. Ziyech is wandering over to put forward his claim.
Yeah, not his side either, and both of them being left-footed. This is 23-4 yards from goal, perfectly within shooting distance, so interesting to see what they conjure up here. I wonder if we've done too much on free kicks in training, Matt. Perhaps we'll see. Perhaps they don't want to give anything away until the season starts, but looks like a direct shot from one or the other.
Enzo's claiming seniority, I think. He says, I've scored a free kick against Tottenham before, Hakim. You'll have to wait. That is that for the first half. Chelsea have battered Tottenham 1-0 here. Hakim Ziyech on 15 minutes with the goal. But Clive, there could have been more thereafter.
Yeah, it could have been. I mean, there were some one or two chances, half chances perhaps, that we could have capitalised on. But I'd have to say, from general all-round play, we've been magnificent. We pass the ball well. And I'm going back to N'Golo Kante driving the show through midfield. He's been excellent. But it's been a team performance as well.
Chelsea doing well so far. I'm sure we'll see plenty of substitutions during the second half, but the 11 who've started this match have proved too much for Tottenham in the first half. Not much work for Edouard Mendy to do in the Blues' goal. At the other end, Pierluigi Golini has been pretty busy. Chelsea continuing where they left off on Sunday. They beat Arsenal. They are in front here against Tottenham. Expect plenty of Spurs changes too as the second half wears on, although their bench nowhere near the depth of Chelsea's tonight. It's mainly youth players, so Nuno Espirito Santo will be wanting a little bit more, I think, from some of his senior figures out there in the second half. For Thomas Tuchel, I'm sure he's got it planned exactly who's going to play how many minutes. So far, you will be very happy with what has been offered. Half-time then, it is Chelsea 1, Tottenham Hotspur 0. Over to Joe Flemons, pitch side.
Thank you, Matt. What a start to life back inside a football stadium. Boys, what a raucous first half, Pat.
Utter domination. Absolutely utter domination. They started quite quickly, Spurs, for about 30 seconds. And then after that, we completely controlled that game there. Some brilliant play. It honestly looks like they've never been away. And before we'll go into the mall, but N'Golo, stop it. I mean, seriously, stop it. He's been brilliant, hasn't he? I mean, and you can go through the team.
I mean, every single one of them, yeah. I mean, they haven't necessarily been challenged as much as I would have expected, to be quite honest. But yeah, N'Golo Kante, we do have to pick him out. He's doing everything. He's putting hard tackles in. His tackle led to the goal. Brilliant goal at that. And then also, I think he's Meg Dele Alli. I think he's fake-shotted Dele Alli. Dele Alli, if I'm him, I'm not coming out for a second half if Kante's there. Goodness gracious.
It's been a tough 45 minutes for him, hasn't it? I'll tell you what, let's have a look at the goal, because obviously N'Golo Kante played a very big part in that goal. He made the assist from this tackle. I mean, the tackle in the middle of the park, Pat, from N'Golo Kante.
Yeah, it's a tackle, it's a pass, it's a through ball, it's everything. I mean, and to be honest, Hakim's really calm when he gets there. We know he's got a wonderful left foot anyway. But really, that was just to start from N'Golo. You look at what he does every week for us, but doing it there and then just kept on doing it through the whole game, and it just led us on to something very, very special. And the confidence has
And then, as we said, the finish is fantastic. It goes through Ziyech is able to take that space and shoots from outside the box. I mean, it's a fantastic finish from a good range as well. Left foot, I mean, we've mentioned it many times, a wonder of a left.
Quite scary as well, Pat, isn't it? Because Hakim Ziyech, obviously, you know, he played last season, but he started a little bit later on. You know, like all the boys, it took a little bit of time to settle in new environment, new country, new culture, everything like that. But in terms of Peterborough in a behind closed doors game, and has ran the game this afternoon as well.
Well, one of the tricky things we've got, someone asked me a question the other day. Who's the player at Chelsea that's going to light up the season? No idea. Could be Hakim.
Could be, yeah.
Could be Havertz. Could be Pulisic. And you keep on going. There's any one of them could have a magical season. And Hakim's had a brilliant start today, hasn't he? And as an attack, lots of people are talking about a striking situation at the moment. But that just behind the striker, creative but scoring as well, is pretty special. It could be Hakim today, could be Callum. Callum's had a brilliant start to the season. He's worked hard today. He's done the defensive stuff well today as well. So you just don't know who it's going to be. And actually you don't know who it's going to be week to week. And that's why it's a joy to watch.
It's been a real delight first half. I mean, it's been a brilliant first half of football as well. Let's have a look at some of the Chelsea chances from that first half. And Zach, like Pat's already alluded to, it started very early. Chelsea been in control the entire game.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, Pat kind of mentioned it. They had like a 2-minute spell where they maybe could have got a chance or two. But yeah, they've just come on screen here. This one goes down the right wing. I mean, I'm trying to remember. I can't quite remember this chance, if I'm being quite honest. But yeah, and this one was close. I mean, Hakim Ziyech, we mentioned his left foot. He can do it from anywhere. When he's on that right side, he loves that curve, putting it in. I mean, unlucky Timo is very unlucky here. Good block in the end. And again, Hakim Ziyech waiting for that left foot. And it's very, very close. The keeper had no chance in that one.
He's going to score goals this season, Hakim Ziyech, isn't he?
Yeah, he's getting in that sort of gap there. And it's a classic one. When Timo drives at players, defenders go back because they can't stay with his pace, which develops the space in the 10. And that's where he lives. That's where Hakim lives. And if you keep on developing that space there, and by the way,
he was on side for this.
And this is the classic. We're going to show it. He is well on, isn't he?
We're going to have a look at the replay here, Pat, because I know that VAR is very contentious, but this is the point, isn't it? This is what we'll get in the Premier League. That's a goal, and Chelsea are 2 up against Tottenham.
Yeah, and again, I'm one of the very few people who says I like VAR. It's just not been used well yet. If you use it well, there we get the goal we deserve. By the way, that's another thing we're talking about here. If you've got Chalobah, Rudiger and Zuma attacking the ball, wow, and they are monsters in that situation. So look at all the options we've got. We've got skills in the, on the wide areas there. By the way, that's another one of those ones. With N'Golo, he's actually incredible. He's a skillful winger. He's a tricky winger. He's going for nutmegs at the end of the game here, and I'm thinking. Well, my phrase to you was, oh, stop it completely. That's just embarrassing. All the way through the team. We're going to make a few changes, no doubt, at half-time, and it's probably sensible to do that. A lot of players need minutes now, don't they? And a lot of players out there, you think, you've done enough. You're actually fine now. Give somebody else a wee chance. So I think everyone around here would like to see some of the changes because there's other guys on there that need some more minutes.
Talk about N'Golo Kante a little bit more, Zach, in terms of the player that we know he is, the player that we think he's got to his pinnacle, and then he does something different. I know tonight's only a pre-season, and perhaps there are some players that are a bit further down their fitness development, as it were, ahead of the new season, but he's on a different planet.
Well, I think I turned to you, I said I think he's got better. Yeah. I think he got better. Every single year, I think, okay, Kante can't get any better. He can't be passing 80 yards. He does it perfectly. 60-yard passes, left, right, and centre. Tackling everywhere on the pitch. Creative. He's creating chances now. He's nutmegging people. It's brilliant. And we kind of mentioned about there. Once since Tuchel's taken over, he's taken it to another level. He's not playing that DM role where he's just taking the defensive duties. Central midfield, he's pushing on, and he's doing it so well. And he complements our team so much.
You know, one of our problems was we initially knew he was international class, then he knew he was world class. Now he's getting better, and we're thinking, well, where are we now? Solar system class? Are we galaxy class? Okay, no, honestly, he's off the school at the moment. Out of this world, will do.
Absolutely, he's been sensational. He always is sensational, to be fair. It's something that before the game was sensational to see. A lovely glint off the Champions League trophy, as Cesar Azpilicueta brought it out. What a cheer, what a noise. And some of the boys that aren't involved tonight obviously played a huge part in that Champions League final. the smile is probably as big as the trophy, isn't it, Zach?
Oh, mate, what a man. No one deserves it more. Honestly, he came here after our last Champions League win and has played every position on this pitch practically. And he's such a nice guy. He deserves it. He's probably one of the best players we've had at this club in the last decade. And probably one of the best transfers we've made in the Premier League in the past decade.
Well, he's absolutely up there, isn't he, Pat? We're the very best that have been here over the decades. And yourself, I know you're not going to put yourself in that bracket, but we certainly would. And Frank Lampard, your John Terry's, your Didier Drogba, Cesar Azpilicueta is absolutely in that conversation.
To give the amount of time he's given to the club, to be able to adapt and change, left back, right back, left wing back, right wing back, put him anywhere you like, put him midfield, you're absolutely fine. Attitude's brilliant. Started questioning, well, but he doesn't score or make goals, then he started scoring and making goals. He has everything you want in a professional football. I'll be honest with you, Branislav Ivanovic is one of my favourite players in the history of this club, and I thought we'll never ever replace him. Wrong.
He's definitely up there, isn't he? And even so, for the first time, a lot of us, we've had that beautiful moment of walking up to the ground for the first time in a long time. You walk across the shed, you see all the legends that are up on the shed wall. Aspie's name will be up there very soon.
Aspie will be. If not, I will personally make sure it happens. I'll do it myself. But yeah, no, I mean, it's been fantastic. I think it's around 20,000 people here, and the noise, I'm sure the players have loved it. It feels like it's a full stadium, which actually scares me what's going to be like when it is full. But no, it's been fantastic, and yeah, what a day.
The madness of it, one little mad thing about it is he's not very tall. He's not lightning quick. And you start thinking, right, okay, why are you brilliant? And it's because he does every single thing in the game extremely well, and he's got that. His match intelligence is fabulous.
And you could see as well, it meant so much to him. Obviously, plenty still to come over the next couple of days on the fifth stand up as we start to build towards Chelsea back in Premier League action a week on Saturday. But before then, we've got the Super Cup, obviously in Belfast, Chelsea taking on Villarreal for the first lot of silverware of the season. Next Wednesday, the actual game, but before that, we've got the training session and the press conferences from Belfast as well, so it's going to be interesting. But Zach, we spoke about minutes getting in the bank, and that will be that's the carrot, isn't it, for the players, is to say, look, there's a cup final next Tuesday, next Wednesday night. This is your opportunity, second half, you put a good performance in, you're in the manager's thinking. Yeah, for sure. It'll probably be a little bit too soon for some of the English boys, though we may see them come off the bench in that final as well. But yeah, for some of these guys, I think whoever and then comes off, we'll probably be seeing in that final your likes of Havertz, your Ziyech's, your Timo Werners, your N'Golo Kante's. Wrap them up in cotton wool. We've got a trophy to win next week and kick off the season. But yeah, I mean, for the other guys on the bench, your Ruben Loftus-Cheeks, Trevor Chalobah's been fantastic tonight. But yeah, for the guys coming off the bench onto the pitch, they'll want to warm up. They want to show Tuchel that they want a place as well in that starting 11. Absolutely. Well, even some players that have only just got back involved within the squad, one being Mateo Kovacic, been sensational tonight. I mean, Pat, I know that you're a massive fan of him, and Kova can do everything. I think that's the difficulty, is trying to pinpoint one thing he does well, because he does everything well. Yeah. Vision on the ball. I mean, dribbling skills, he doesn't look like a dribbler, but he ain't half a dribbler. It's the way he can manipulate a situation, drag it, look, I want it back. He's there to take it. He doesn't get it on this occasion, but he's there to take it, and he's gone beyond players. He's winning the ball brilliantly there, and always making himself available. That's the thing you say about a good midfielder. I'm always available. 3 or 4 players around me, that drive. See that drive? That's taking players out of the play. It doesn't look like much, but defenders hate that, midfielders hate that. The right ball's on, he'll find it, plays it in there, and that's that goal that should have stood, and he was central to it in the break of it. So once again, he's another player. He keeps on improving. He looks brilliant just now, and he can play with Jorginho. I think they're telepathic, but with Kante, it looks just as good today. It's a brilliant 45, and I wouldn't be surprised if he's starting in the first game in the league. The strength in depth is sensational, Zach, and Kovacic is an exact example about that. Pat's talking about Jorginho there. People are talking about Jorginho for the Ballon d'Or. He's won the Champions League and the Euros in the last 2 months. Not been bad. And we've got Ruben Loftus-Cheek. We've got so many players that
Billy Gilmore's on loan at Norwich.
Billy Gilmore's gone on loan.
Really well.
We're talking about there's loads of players that still want to be involved, and Spurs have got plenty as well that have got plenty of players that are going to be involved. But there's options for all of these players, aren't there? Yeah. I mean, we're talking about Kovacic there, guy maybe one of the most press-resistant players in the league. But yeah, and as you mentioned, then Jorginho, as you said, had a fantastic year. He's probably going to want to keep his place. Kante, we just say so. We've already run out of superlatives to describe him. And then Mason Mount, if needed, can play in that central midfield role. Ruben Loftus-Cheek, as you mentioned, Ross Barkley.
Billy Gilmore, who's on loan as Norwich, as I mentioned. Like, we are so stocked heavily for the future as well, which is so good. Like, Kovacic is he's still in his 20s. Like, he's got such a long career ahead of him. Yeah, we're a lucky club. We're a very lucky club.
We certainly are. And Pat, with Trevor Chalobah, you know, because he's played in the centre of the three. He's then moved to the right-hand side of the three. I'm sure Thomas Tuchel is probably thinking, OK, let's see what we've got from him, because it's a different role, isn't it? Although to us mere mortals, it seems like, oh, he's playing centre-half. You as an ex-player will know there's a lot of difference between playing in the middle of a three and on the right-hand side of a three.
The adaptability is important. When you think about it, if you buy a player and he can play 2-3 positions, you've kind of bought 3 players. That makes him much more useful to you, especially as games. You want to adapt systems in games. You want to adapt personnel in games. Things will happen. If you know you can say, can you do that, can you do that, can you do that, and you feel comfortable. That's why, back to Aspi, we're so comfortable having him on the pitch, because he can cover us absolutely everywhere. Chalobah's an interesting one. I think he's looked at him, and I think it was the first question you asked me at Bournemouth. How important is it for each player? And we said, well, there'll be somebody who catches the manager's eye, and he thinks, oh, I can get something at him. And he could be the one.
He could be the one. And Zach, like you said about, you know, how spoilt we are in terms of players that we've got that are developing again and again and again. It seems like a conveyor belt of players that have been out on loan, proven themselves, get the opportunity and take it. At one point next season, we could be playing with a back four with Reece James, Trevor Chalobah, Andreas Christensen, and so many more within the squad. But you know it means a lot to them.
Yeah, massively, massively. The Chelsea Academy's done such a fantastic job. And the other thing as well is, if they don't make it here, they'd be fantastic at other clubs in the Premier League. We've seen it recently. And they all deserve so much respect. They've done such a good job. And everyone behind the scenes has done fantastic. I mean, he's back out for the second half. He's going to be brilliant too.
Absolutely. You can hear the noise. So it's time to hand back over to our commentary team for the second half of Matt Davies-Adams and Clive Walker.
Thanks, Joe. A couple of changes, as you can see, Thomas Tuchel is making. Christian Pulisic, who started at Arsenal on Sunday, is on, and the lesser spotted Timothy Bakayoko, been away on loan for a couple of years, had a good time in Italy as well. He's on too. Just trying to work out who that means has gone off, Clive. Looks like N'Golo Kante.
Yeah, Callum Hudson-Odoi, I think.
There you go. Spurs brought Harry Winks on too. Of course, we're going to get a whole flurry of substitutions as the game goes on. Does your manager give you much tactical instruction at half-time in a game like this, or is it just try not to get injured, keep working on what you're doing, you know how long you're playing for?
Tactically, not too much. I mean, obviously, goes through an immense amount of tactical work pre-game, you know, and I think at this level, at this stage, the tactics are understood by the players. He doesn't really need to enforce that in any way if it's gone as well as it did in the first half. Obviously, more of the same. Spurs will probably try and change their tactics, but we have to adapt accordingly. I think Bakayoko's just given the ball away, just won it back. But he's an interesting one for us. See what type of character.
Oh, great chance for an early equaliser here from Son, but a fantastic intervention from Trevor Chalobah to prevent that from happening. The flag had gone up, actually.
It's a great ball in, isn't it? Shouldn't be allowed to get this delivery across, really, but Trevor gets himself into good positions. I don't think Mendy could do anything more, to be honest. He has to make contact, and in some ways you have to say Son should have scored, but didn't.
0-0 here in the Premier League between these two. Last season, Chelsea winning 1-0 in North London thanks to a Jorginho penalty.
Just looking at us tactically, I'm just wondering if he's changed it to a back four. Thomas Tuchel playing Trevor Chalobah at right back and Zuma and Rudiger as the two centre backs. Difficult to tell at the moment. Chalobah looks like he's playing in a right back position.
There's Winks, the new man. So Højbjerg, who's gone off for Tottenham, which is no surprise given that he's only just back from his summer holiday. Pulisic. Ziyech felt he was fouled by Skip. Bergwijn's bringing it forward for Tottenham. Son, is he onside here? Zuma with another trademark Zuma tackle, much to the delight of the East Stand.
Really well timed, wasn't it? Only one winner there as well. I just think we're a bit at sixes and sevens because it certainly looks like we've gone to a back four with Yoko now pushing into that central midfield position, but I just think we've just got to adapt differently to what we were doing. In some ways, it's a strange one for fans because we look at it and say, come on, let's go and win the game and stay as we were, but...
Here's Alonso, managed to hook it back to Ziyech. Yeah. Oh, he's got it again. Hakim Ziyech at the double. Great play from Alonso in the build-up, but just like the first goal, Ziyech still had much to do, and he did it expertly. And Chelsea have doubled their lead just a couple of minutes after half-time.
Yeah, timing perfect, wasn't it? Just wondered what we could achieve, but we get into a good position. Nice early reverse pass by Pulisic, who then sets up Alonso, who slides in. Wasn't looking favourite to win the ball, but somehow gets there and wins it cleanly. Ziyech, one touch, and then smashes it past the goalkeeper. Having said that, I think there was a slight deflection on the shot. Yeah, there was. Just takes it away from him. Take nothing away from Ziyech. It's on his left foot, sweet as a nut. Strikes it, and we're 2-0 up.
Always low threed, much if anything into pre-season games, of course, but it does feel like it might be a fun season.
Well, you know, we have to accept that. I'm struggling to believe that Spurs are going to be this bad throughout the season. I feel they're a bigger club than what they're showing today. Having said that, if you don't hit the ground running in pre-season, sometimes it's hard to pick it back up.
11 p.m. on the 31st of August might be a key time for them. That's when the transfer window shuts.
Well, as we know, historically Daniel Levy doesn't tend to spend a great deal, does he? So I suppose everybody's going to ask the question about Harry Kane, and does that bring funds in?
Here's Pulisic. He'll be happy. USA won the Gold Cup earlier this week against Mexico. Mentioned on Sunday he was part of the team that won the new CONCACAF Nations League, but sat out Gold Cup duty. Reguilon.
Well, we maybe have gone to a back four with Alonso playing at left back, but no surprise really, was it, to see it inside the penalty area? It's just a natural way he plays.
Important for Trevor Chalobah, isn't it? Because you could forgive him for thinking, well, I'm not a right back, I'm not sure about this, but no. If you can show the boss that you can play in more than one position,
absolutely,
that makes you a much more valuable squad member.
Yeah, it certainly does, especially as a youngster trying to prove his case. I think you'd have to look at, as we know, we've seen him at under 23 level, haven't we, and has played at right back and capable of playing several positions.
Now, is that going to be a penalty? Referee says no.
I think, again, that's a tight call, difficult decision. Assistant referee doesn't want to get involved either. Keeps his flag down.
Havertz. Right side to Ziyech, who returned the compliment. Now here's Pulisic. Werner for three. Not quite.
He's just so desperate to get involved, isn't he, Timo Werner? You know, again, a great counter-attack. Kai Havertz finds a space on halfway. Just having a look at that decision by the referee. That's a correct decision. Alonso gets a touch on the ball. Yeah, I think that's the right decision. But it was the counter-attack that followed. And everybody trying to get involved. Werner, in the end, again, snatches at his shot, but in the right position. Chelsea fans certainly enjoying the occasion. Always against Tottenham, it's the one you want to win. Usually a league game, but any game against Spurs at whatever level you like, it's important to the football club.
But it's also just seeing people that you don't see any other time than at football and being part of that community again, isn't it? You can see that in people's faces and the way they're interacting.
Well, we saw that, didn't we? Pre-kick-off excitement was fabulous and great noises from the fans.
Here's Ziyech on a hat-trick, of course. Talk about pre-season and its importance, Clive. You think a year ago you and I were commentating on the game at Brighton where Ziyech got injured, missed the start of the season, and he's playing catch-up ever since then. Now, if he's going to get a full pre-season under his belt, puts him in a much stronger position.
Well, we're seeing a player, aren't we, that has so much ability, it's frightening. And you wondered whether he could adapt to the Premier League. And questions were asked last season, you know, was his fitness good enough? I think we're getting the repercussions of that now. We're seeing his fitness.
Here's Werner, desperate for his goal as ever.
Good play by Werner. Great first touch. Good vision by Pulisic to find him. Starting to go through the gears again, Chelsea now. Again, Son trying to play that centre forward. He's not a centre forward, is he? He's a guy who plays just off a striker and coming into play there. He's retaining the ball. It's hard for Spurs at the moment. Here comes Chelsea again.
Straight at Tanganga that time. Moura. Dele. Moura looking for room for a shot, found it, deflected in. And Tottenham have a goal back.
Well, they've had a stroke of luck there because Dele Alli has got a very fortunate deflection on whatever he was trying to achieve. And it's fallen nicely for Moura, who's found the space but doesn't get closed down quickly enough, and the deflection just takes it away from Mendy. Just seeing it again. Deflection off Azuma. Just think Tony Rudiger's not close enough to close the ball down when Moura takes a strike on, but again, not fluid from Tottenham. Just a little bit of luck that sometimes you need and sometimes you get. They don't deserve a goal, but they've had a little bit of luck. Again, all started from Bakayoko, who gave the ball away cheaply.
One of those that isn't an own goal, but definitely wouldn't have been a goal without the touch from the defender. Pulisic! Oh, that would have been a lovely goal. On the stretch to meet it on the volley, the American.
What a ball as well. Kovacic, a little flighted diagonal, wasn't it? Superb delivery. Just on the full stretch, wasn't he, Pulisic? And couldn't get any power in the strike. So unlucky. Gets in the right position, though. And that's what we're talking about in pre-season friendlies. Arriving in the right position. I hope he's not holding his groin now. I presume it's his shorts that have rolled up where he slid in, but always wary of injuries at this stage of pre-season training.
Reguilon looking for Bergwijn. So we're hoping that will carry. It wouldn't, and he's put it wide of Mendy's post to try and help his goalkeeper out in a way, but ended up making it quite difficult for him.
Yeah, not the best of balls. And you can see Mendy was saying, push it out wide. So we got a bit of a lift from the goal.
So Shot blocked at source by Rudiger.
That's much better, Tony Rudiger. Brilliant defending. Good tackle. There's a chance there for Werner to give Tanganga a run for his money. Lots of space in behind.
Winks. Doherty from Skip's pass. Bergwijn looking to collect the return ball. This is shepherded off it by Chalobah.
He's too quick, Trevor. Very quick defender. Just gets his body in the right position.
Pulisic leaving Reguilon in his wake.
Well, he might be quick, Reguilon, but tell you what, Pulisic's tricks are brilliant, aren't they? Just puts his body weight in the wrong position and then accelerates the weight. He stops while Tony Rudiger just has his eyes checked, maybe got a bit of dirt in there or a bit of a problem. Treatment from Kai Havertz.
That's a real teammate.
Speak the same language. Yeah, looks to be okay.
Rudiger. Urge to shoot, he can't resist it. Got it on target.
Wound that one up, didn't he, Tony Rudiger? Found himself in great space, to be honest, and again, Spurs midfield absolutely nowhere. So he thinks, why not? I'll run forward, I'll take the shot on, even with my left foot, and see what happens. Forces a save, bang on target.
Bergwijn, Dutch international, but not part of the Netherlands squad in the European Championships. He's lost out there. A whole raft of Chelsea substitutions will happen imminently. You see Sars, Apocosta, Abraham and Moore down there. Pulisic, on he goes, lovely run. Wants to finish it himself, then gave it off to Werner. Alonso. Now Pulisic again. Oh, well, if he'd released the pass just a couple of seconds earlier.
I think what he saw Werner first. He didn't see Alonso in the wider position, and by then it's probably too late to make the pass. But you're right, the opportunity was there. Again, we keep saying it, it's true, those opportunities are seen when the game really kicks off, when the league starts. Here come the changes.
So coming on, we have got Malang Sarr, Davide Zappacosta, Tammy Abraham, Tino Angerin and Kennedy. Hakim Ziyech and Timo Werner are making their way off, so too Marcos Alonso. Kai Havertz is also giving way.
That's what we say in pre-season, isn't it? give everybody a chance, give them some minutes on the pitch. And these guys have been given, what, 28 minutes, you know, it's a good stint by Thomas Tuchel.
Kovacic is also being withdrawn. Ethan Ampadu is also going to come on wearing number 18, and Ruben Loftus-Cheek.
Yeah, and Kurt Zouma's coming off, so a raft of changes from Chelsea, so could upset the apple cart slightly in the domination of the game, but let's hope not. Everybody should be tuned into the style and the way we play. So let's hope it all clicks very, very quickly with multiple changes.
Of course, we want to see how the likes of Kennedy get on, but I think really, Clive, everybody's going to be keeping an eye on the likes of Ampadu and Loftus-Cheek, and of course Tino Anjorin. See how they can do for the half an hour or so that's left.
Yeah, always good for the fans to see homegrown players. You know, Ethan Ampadu's one, isn't he? And even Ruben coming back, you know, we've obviously seen a lot of him in the past, but been away for a while and maybe given another opportunity by a new manager, so it's a chance for him too. Fans will be pleased to see these players back.
But with the short hair now, well, Bakayoko's missed that one. Isn't costly though. He's alongside Loftus-Cheek in central midfield for now.
I forgot to mention Sarr, of course. Another player we haven't seen a great deal of. Here's Zappacosta, who we've seen a lot of, but not recently.
A good end to the season at Genoa last season. Zappacosta was amongst the goals there, because he scored that ridiculous goal on the other side of the pitch against Karabakh on his home debut. He was in this kind of position. Cross-come shot went all the way in. Pulisic. It's going to be a Chelsea corner.
Well, still in the ascendancy, Chelsea, which is always good to see when you make that many changes. Say Christian Pulisic is nice and crisp and sharp, hasn't he? And making some good decisions, and again wins a corner there. And we're back to those training ground routines. As I said earlier, do you give anything away before the season starts? I very much doubt it. Not with a cross like that, you don't.
Can have another go, Pulisic. I'll get past Son first. Here's Anjorin. Those of you who've watched him in PL2 with us will know about his strength. He can glide across the pitch as well. Tino Anjorin, on he goes! Oh, wow. That would have been something to savour.
That was a bit special in its own way, wasn't it? To start with, the way he just rode those challenges and used his physicality to bounce off of players, get himself into a great position with a bit of skill, and the shot on his left foot, weaker left foot, was decent as well. Good save in the end by Golini. I think that's what any manager wants to see, isn't it? They talk about making him an impression and trying to catch the manager's eye as Bakayoko takes a chance and gets away with it on the edge of the box.
Sarr up and over halfway. Saw him at the Emirates on Sunday too, Malang Sarr. Sarr from Nice around about a year ago, was at Porto last season. It gets the free kick after Dyer's challenge.
Yeah, I thought Dyer was unlucky there. I think this is a 50-50, both players going for a ball that was in between them. I don't think Dyer's done too much wrong there, but Pulisic gets up a little bit gingerly. Walking away, looks to be all right.
Get it back from Anjorin, he's looked lively.
He's done exactly the right thing there, Kennedy. He's done really well. Little 1-2, gets down the line into a good crossing position. It's up to players to get inside the box.
Acosta.
corner.
Tino Andrin coming at the far post. Good defending by Doherty in the end, but Chelsea piling on the pressure.
Touch from Bakayoko.
Just about get away with that one, Tottenham. As I said before, we talked about the change of players and whatever happens with your team. Because we've seen this enthusiasm from the players that have come on is really what the manager will be looking for. At times, the top players, the ones with the top quality, which these players that have come on today would love to be part of. But the enthusiasm goes a long way. Good battle now between Zappacosta and Reguilon, isn't it? Both quick, both like to get forward, both not the best defensively maybe. So it's cat and mouse who gets forward first and pushes the other one back, and at the moment Zappacosta's winning.
Son. Sar's mistake proved costly. It's Bergwijn. It did. Through the legs of Mendy for 2-2 from nowhere. Spurs have got themselves back level.
Oh, it's a poor mistake, isn't it? Sarr really making a huge error trying to play a square ball, and it wasn't difficult to cut out, but well, Bergwijn's done the rest, hasn't he? He's been given the ball and able to run quite a long way with it. One-on-one. In a wide position, expect perhaps Mendy to do a little bit better, but it's one of those where it's between his legs, difficult to close your legs and make the save. Enough power in the shot to let it roll over the line. Disappointment on the goal, but if you're going to make mistakes, make them today.
Well, can the Chelsea players who are out there now try and get back the kind of dominance in the game that their predecessors had?
Yeah, it's a shame really, because sometimes we talked about the enthusiasm, doing the right things. We had the enthusiasm. Let's just hope we keep it going.
Good play from Angerin. Zappacosta's cutback was decent too, but Pulisic was leaning back as he hit the shot.
That's okay, that's good play, no point in complaining about that. Angerin, brilliant, absolutely brilliant. His enthusiasm and his drive, his ideas are really good. Setting up Zappacosta, who picks out Christian Pulisic. Again, as you say, Matt, leaning back, but never looked quite comfortable taking the shot on.
Cheek, nicely done. Angerin just trying to dance his way through the Tottenham midfield. Zappacosta. Come for Angerin to hit. From Skip took it into the gloves of the goalkeeper.
Well, what it's nice to see is sometimes, we talked about players who come on and mass changes, how it changes things, but we're actually dominating midfield. Ruben Loftus-Cheek and come on and mass changes, how it changes things, but we're actually dominating midfield. Ruben Loftus-Cheek, Angerin, Bakayoko playing his part as well. It's a dominance in that area. Harry Winks has rarely been involved.
Pulisic. Here's Abraham. Tight angle, but he got the shot on target. It was a good save from Galini.
Yeah, expect that from Tammy. Good play by Pulisic again. Loose ball picked up by Chelsea and moving forward very, very quickly. Makes a nice little angle. Tammy Abraham and does fire his shot away, although it's tight. Good save again by Galini.
Change at left back for Tottenham. Sergio Reguilon giving way, and Ben Davies will come on and take his place.
Substitution for Tottenham number 3, Sergio Reguilon, number 33,
Davies, Wales teammate of Ethan Ampadu over the summer. Spurs starting at home to Manchester City. Chelsea Saturday, 3 o'clock kick-off at the Bridge to kick off the season. Unheard of. Crystal Palace, the visitors. Zappacosta. Pulisic, smart. Break here for Sarr, not quite.
Again, he's unlucky, Pulisic, isn't he? Just a lovely way about him, that little bit of body swerve and using both feet with ease. Just looks so comfortable on the ball.
Trying to hold up Bergwijn, who's down and hurt. Things are playing on. Bergwijn's okay. Tough start for Chelsea to the season, Premier League-wise. First 6 games, play the champions, Liverpool, 3 London derbies in there, Villa as well, who Chelsea failed to beat last season.
It's a good test, isn't it? I think that's why these games are so important, to get us up and running to top speed. You have to say that what we've shown tonight, fitness-wise, I think we're more than capable.
Key men still to come back as well. Certainly based on last season, you'd expect James, Chilwell, Mount and Jorginho all to be starters. Depends how they're feeling, I suppose, given they had such a long summer.
Yeah, and again, you know, fitness is massive, and it's a time when perhaps players need to be honest as well. Sometimes, you know, you always want to play the first game, and then in your excitement you want to get involved and be part of the build-up, but you have to be honest and realistic. There are players that will be in front physically. The manager will make those decisions, I'm sure, but we all want to see the top players playing at all times, but what is about confidence.
We'll see a couple more substitutions momentarily. Matt Miazga and Serge Aurier are ready to come on. Bergwijn. Son, Spurs looking to win the game. Here's Ben Davis. Kicked off the line by Ampadu.
I'm not sure if that was going wide, but you know, he's got himself back into a great position, Ethan, and done his job, to be honest. Chelsea being just pulled apart a little bit by quick work from Tottenham, something perhaps we haven't seen.
Son. Spurs have looked better because of their changes, or because of their lack of changes, I should say, maybe because of Chelsea's changes. Here's Kennedy.
Good play by him, keeps possession of the ball, which was massively important. Not only that, found Zappacosta as well.
Andrew and Kennedy linking up. Kennedy then could provide a pass to Abraham's suitability. Over 10 minutes for somebody to find a winning goal.
Somewhat flat, disappointed, but how can we put it with 12 minutes to go? You know, we've been so good, giving away a couple of sloppy goals, but also look nice and bright going forward. It's been a good game physically for us. I think we've been by far the better team. As always, you want to beat Spurs. Can we find that one goal maybe to take us over the line? Let's hope so. A couple of changes coming here for both sides.
As we see Spurs almost third goal that was kicked off the line. Serge Aurier and Matt Miazga, are watching this, both coming on. Miazga on loan at Anderlecht last season. Easy to forget, he had a couple of first team appearances under Gus Hiddink. Aurier, the Ivorian, on. Tottenham waiting for the signal that they can bring on one of their young players. Chalobah is the Chelsea player who's gone off, and Bergwijn, who got the goal, will be replaced by 17-year-old Dane Scarlett, who scored against Leyton Orient a couple of weeks ago. He did get some minutes for the first team in the Premier League and the Europa League last season. How did Chalobah do for you, Clive, playing in his, I suppose, usual position in the first half and not in the second? We can see him in midfield too.
Yeah, do you know what? He just does his job, doesn't he? He's very, very good at what he does. And I don't think he has let anybody down at all tonight. Don't think he was put under a great deal of pressure, especially in the first half. Probably a few more questions asked of him in the right-back position, but to be honest, I don't think he'd be disappointed with his performance, and neither would the manager.
Overrun by Sarr. Son. Aurier. Got the block in.
Yeah, Aurier's given Sarr a chance to amend for his mistake. You know, in that sort of position, don't need to be taking players on. Just move the ball on, play it forward. Probably at fault for the last goal as well, and you know, you don't want to continue to make mistakes.
Hiya.
Yampadu knew what he was doing there. Just cuts across Aurier and just clips his heels. Could have been nasty for Aurier, but he's landed okay. Free kick's been given, and that was a yellow card, wasn't it? Don't very often see them at this level, but when they are pre-season matches, of course. Spurs with the chance, then Son with a free kick. Right on the right-hand side, so good angle for him. Of course, important as well, we make the changes that we've made. The communication is there with the defensive line.
Bakayoko got his head to it, and then Winks sliced it onto the roof of the net.
I think that's one for Mendy as well. When you look at the players playing in front of him, he's not used to any of them, to be honest. And when you've got a ball coming in like he just did there, it's important. His communication with his players, his starter position is good, and even though the header was poor, I think Mendy would have saved anything that came his way.
Zappacosta. Pulisic. Just about a free kick.
Wasn't much, was it? I think his body weight was over one way there, Ruben Loftus-Cheek, and Dele Alli just coming together. Wasn't much in it, but just helped him on his way. Get a free kick. It's not been, I thought for a while when the subs came on, it was a little bit of a buzz and a flow about it, but that second goal for Tottenham has taken the stuffing out of us somewhat. Still with a bit of time, 5 minutes to go. Kennedy with the free kick now, and let's hope he gets this one on the money.
Cheek had to get rid of that quickly under pressure from Son.
Yeah, great feed by him initially, but then gives the ball away so cheaply.
Good play from young Scarlett. Morris found Aurier. Aurier's cutbacks found Son in space. Didn't get the shot away early though. Back to Dele instead.
We just got players back in numbers in the end, didn't we? But it just gets pulled so far out of position there. Easy for Spurs to break forward.
Looking for the switch out to Zappacosta. Get enough on it.
Yeah, nowhere near it. He acknowledges it as well. He knows he has to make good contact here. It's probably a 60-yard ball that's got to clear defenders as well, and it's not going to happen. It's a shame in some ways that the buzz has gone out of our game. We can't say it's tiredness because we've changed nearly all the players, so just that enthusiasm that we had when the subs came on for 10 minutes was fabulous. But it stopped us from seeing a bit more of Angerin. I just think he's such a a gifted player that we're going to see a lot more of this season. And I think he's a player who just needs minutes and needs to be enjoying what he does. Just not been involved since the second goal.
Would you keep him around then rather than alone?
I think I'd like to see him in training. I think I'd see what I see now. I see a player that's quite capable of playing. Yeah, and I think he's one of those that just let him loose. He's got the ability, he's got the confidence, he's young, he's enthusiastic.
There he goes, found Abraham. He was not really in stride when he took that, and appeals for a free kick were hopeful.
It was never a free kick, was it? I just think Tammy's got to be stronger in those positions. You've got to expect defenders to hit you from behind in some respects. You're not going to get penalties and free kicks all day long. Just be aware of it, just be strong, hang on to the ball. That's a better crossfield ball.
What's Zapakos to do with it? To win Chelsea a late corner, might be the last chance to win the game here.
Yeah, and that's all you can want him to do, you know, this stage of the game. Little step over, get beyond your defender and fire the ball across. It gets blocked out by another defender, goes for a corner. You know, that's all you want, just get the ball in the box and see what can happen.
Was a good corner.
It was a better one this time, wasn't it? Well defended by Spurs.
We didn't get any injury time at the end of the first half. It'll be the same now. If so, this is the last attack. There you go, we're going to have 3 minutes. Lost his cheek, nice touch. Tackle. Abraham does get the free kick this time. I think Ruben's okay by the looks of it, just heart in mouth for a moment.
Yeah, I think every time a player goes down you're always concerned, aren't you? But both players get back up again. Tammy was thumped from behind in some respects and hits the ground quite heavily and wins the free kick, but behind more and down the side of his ankle, but he's okay.
Zappacosta. Ampadu. Zappacosta making room for the cross. A bit too deep.
I just feel that's where Kennedy maybe should be lurking on that far post. it was in reverse. I'd expect Zappacosta to be there. You know, he's done well, Zappacosta. He's picked the ball up well, got it to the far post, but Kennedy is miles off the play if he was looking to try and score.
So looking for Delhi.
Good positioning.
Costa urged forward. So it finishes all square in this second game of the Mind series for Chelsea. They were 2-0 up just a couple of minutes after half-time. Hakim Ziyech got both goals, first on 15, then on 49 for Lucas Moura, and then Steven Bergwijn ensured that Tottenham were not defeated here. Clive, those changes definitely disrupted the flow, but...
than Spurs and in a better position at this moment in time in pre-season. Disappointed in the result. Having said that, 2 mistakes have cost us dearly. We'll learn from that. At the end of the day, we made opportunities to score more goals. We didn't. Our goalkeeper Galini made a couple of really good saves that could have made it different. But you know what? It's great to be back at the Bridge. It's great to have the fans back in, and I think the majority of Chelsea fans tonight would have enjoyed it because we were the better side for a good 60-65 minutes.
The Champions League trophy was paraded before kick-off. Chelsea showed their quality for large periods of this game. Remember, still several senior players not ready to play yet. Lots of people have got minutes into their legs tonight. The next game for Chelsea is the European Super Cup final in Belfast against Villarreal. That's a week from tonight. But here it finished. Chelsea 2, Tottenham Hotspur 2. Back to Joe, pitch side.
There we go then. What a night. Fans have been back inside Stamford Bridge. A great game of football as well, Pat, wasn't it, really? I mean, when you think about it, you know, it's disappointing to not win the game after being in control for so long, but it's a good run out, it's a good test, and Thomas Tuchel will, I think, be the happier manager.
Coming to the end of the game, you want your team that you're going to be playing to be feeling good, looking good. We're basically 2-0 up with our first team, and that shows you where, and we were in utter control. They scored a goal off of one mistake to make it 2-1. Then we made a bunch of changes, and by the end it's a different team that's on the pitch. So you don't panic about the score at that point in time. You look at what the kind of first team looked like, and they looked super at the beginning of that game. So yeah, a lot of people got a lot. I think the manager got to see a lot of players, some that he might not know that well. Impress people up in the stands who they're going to go and join. A lot learned tonight, but the biggest thing to learn is after about 50 to 60 minutes, we look good, and our kind of first-ish group looks super.
So that's the interesting bit as well, isn't it, Zach? Because like Pat said, there's so many players and names that perhaps we haven't had a huge amount of chance to see recently. Tino Andrin's probably the one that jumps off, because every time we got the ball, me and you were off our seat.
Yeah, I know. And there was one moment, I think he went through about 3 different challenges, dribbled past another one, had a shot. Keeper, to be fair to him, pulled off a good save. He looked lively when he came on. Look, that's what happens. When you make 11 changes, it's hard to keep things. You've got to have a bit of continuity and momentum. It's to be expected. It's a pre-season game. It's about getting minutes in the legs, as Pat mentioned. But yeah, no, Tino Andrin I was very, very impressed with. Thought Trevor Chalobah had a fantastic game as well at centre-back. Really bossed that right-hand side. We've seen him play in the middle and on the right now, and both times look perfectly capable of playing there for Chelsea. It's been a good pre-season, I think.
Definitely, yeah, really enjoyed pre-season. Let's have a little look at the goals from tonight then, starting with the goal in the first half, which we waxed lyrical about at half-time, but N'Golo Kante's tackling here, Pat. It's just what N'Golo does, isn't it?
Yeah. Other players do it, but no one does it better. And, you know, it gets you through. They back off because they're scared of what Ziyech can do. But that's a wonderful left foot he's got. And you're wondering if, you know, if the keeper's done anything wrong. He's not really. He's still got 20 yards there, hasn't he? And he is, it's more than that, 22, 23. And he has pinged it low and it hasn't moved. And what a brilliant bit of confidence that gives him.
Absolutely.
Great confidence, isn't it? That gives him for the start of the season. You want to burst onto the scene. And as you said before, hat-trick Peterborough, a couple of goals there, looking seriously sharp in that area.
Absolutely sharp. And Zach, they on flames, isn't he?
Yeah, indeed. I mean, he takes this really well. Some nice play. Some of the football today Chelsea were playing was fantastic. A left footer from Alonso to another left footer, and it's a brilliant finish. Takes a little bit of a deflection, but I don't think he'll be complaining at all. He's on fire at the moment, and if I'm Villarreal, I'm not wanting to look. I will not be wanting to face the
two very different finishes as well, Pat, aren't they? Because the first one he comes through the ball. The second one's almost like a stab, isn't it, with his left foot?
Yeah, but he knows exactly where it is here. You know, it's behind him. He's not looked there. He's not had a look where the goalkeeper is. He just thinks, right, I'm aware of that, where that back post is. I'm going to try and keep it low with power, and you just never know. It's the oldest one in the book. If you play it across the goalkeeper, all right, you save it, but somebody's following in. Just keep on doing it. Strikers love you doing that from that sort of angle. If he'd have left him on a bit longer, he might have got another hat-trick, but it's kind of secondary, and everybody would love to score a hat-trick against Spurs. But what he's got now, he's got that in the bank. He probably looks as fit now as he's looked at any time in his time at Chelsea. So what a lift that'll get him if he gets a run of games right at the start of the season.
Absolutely right. Obviously at 2-0, Chelsea were cruising in complete control. Spurs didn't get themselves back in the game after being 2-0 down, and it comes from here a little. I suppose this is what you want to see in pre-season in terms of players getting minutes, but obviously this is the other thing. You know, there are players that are coming in that are, I suppose, for want of a better term, Pat, in terms of being cold. And Zach, when you get players that come in, everyone's given an opportunity. And Thomas Tuchel will be looking at individuals, perhaps if there are certain things that he could have done, but it's all about learning pre-season and getting.
But look, huge deflection. It is very, very unfortunate. But as we said, I'm sure Tuchel will be looking at him, wanting to cut out the early mistakes. And yeah, it's not as bad as it could be.
Absolutely not. And again, Pat, that's the thing, though, isn't it? In pre-season, it's about learning, it's about developing. It's, for want of a better word, it's training, but on the pitch with an actual opposition rather than teammates. It's about learning through that. And the second goal's, I suppose, another testament to that, really, isn't it? I mean, the second goal, because it's very similar to the first goal in terms of an area that potentially Thomas Tuchel will be a little bit disappointed with.
Well, he's kept the ball away in that deep area there, Sar this time. The last time it was Bakayoko. The thing is, see if you give the ball away playing out from the back, that's what teams dream of. And the stuff after that, the defending, goalkeeping, it's all secondary. It's losing the ball and that pass there. You can't do that. You notice how much stall we put in. Jorginho getting the ball there, doesn't give it away. Kante getting the ball there, doesn't give it away. That's the worst place in the game to give the ball away. And Spurs, you know, they're good players and they've got the top players playing, and they made absolute capital out of it, and so they should do. But it's one of those ones where you double, treble check when you make that pass in Baka. But there's the other side of it. You feel sorry for them. You've just come on. You've been a little bit, you know, desperate to get a little chance, and you know that you need to be utterly brilliant in that little period. And then you make a mistake, and it's hard to get back from that. So I feel sorry for any players in that situation who know they're already second choice, and it's a tough one to get back from. But again, they've learned the lessons, and they just need to watch Jorginho. They just need to watch Kova. They just need to watch these guys. You don't give the ball away there.
I suppose that's one thing as well, Zach. It's not really a problem that Chelsea have had conceding goals, because we saw how difficult Chelsea were to break down and the amount of clean sheets under Thomas Tuchel in the back in the last season. So it's not like it's a problem that's carried on. It's not really a problem as such.
No, not at all. And as I said, this is it's pre-season, right? I'm pretty sure once we get into the Premier League, we'll probably be seeing a back three of Thiago Silva, Christensen, Azpilicueta, players that didn't feature today, having just come back from international tournaments. Now, as we mentioned, Trevor Thomas Tuchel will bring it up, he'll mention it, and you'll learn, and you'd rather learn now in a pre-season game not to make the mistake than in a league game.
That's it again, Pat, isn't it? I mean, we were sat just behind the bench, and you could see the players that are not involved tonight. It says Azpilicueta and a number of others, but it's very much a team collective, and they're so pleased for the players that are getting their opportunity. And like you mentioned to us at half-time, the strength in depth is stunning. I mean, you just look at some of the chances that Chelsea created tonight. Let's have a little look at some of those. Some players, again, that we know will start, and other players that potentially are looking for that opportunity. The first one that we're looking at here is Hakim Ziyech, ball into Kai Havertz, back to Christian Pulisic. It's good into football, isn't it?
It was stunning. And again, it was this sort of first 15 minutes-ish of the second half as well. We were playing exactly the same way. We were zipping about. Okay, maybe the midfield wasn't as dominant, but when we were getting into that final third, we looked scary. And again, that's it. Had that ball across the keeper. You never know. People will follow in. Strikers, good strikers, will always follow in. But that belief they had driving from those sort of midfield areas, but then thinking, I'll play a 1-2. Oh, look, by the way, is that Kova again there?
Yeah.
Great ball in there. And Captain America at the back post there, nearly gets in, doesn't quite get there. But we were creating chances. We were sort of ripping a decent defence apart.
Here
okay.
it is.
Oh, this is yours. Go on, take it away, Zach.
Earlier, but Tino Andrin dribbled about past 3 players, rode about 4 challenges, and gets the shot off in the bottom left-hand corner. It is a good save. Fair play to their new keeper as well.